So my name is Doelman. The dairy's name is James Road Dairy LLC, and it's named after the road we're on. We're on the James Road in Rochester, Washington, and that would be the wet side of Washington. You get about 60 inches of rain per year. You know, we started the dairy a long time ago. As it evolved, we ended up with 24 Lely robots and milking about 1,450 cows. Yeah, you know, with robots, you get a lot of information. You know, you realize too that maybe I needed to do something about some of the issues that I was seeing. Didn't want to have a big sick pen. I wanted to kind of keep the cows in that pen. The system was keeping an eye on the cows. So and I had seen these ads from AHV, so he sent me some extra and some quick and some Aspi. I started experimenting. I noticed that it worked. The nice part about it is I could watch the cow from my little office and see how she was doing. You know, I could dump the milk. The milk quality kind of improved. I could just put her back in, and most of the time I didn't even go look at the cow. I could just watch. I could watch the cud chewing. I could watch her come back to life and production. So that was pretty handy. And I didn't have to do much. I could tell the fetchers that fetch the cows for a robot. I could just give them a list of cows to give them a couple pills, and pretty easy. At the moment, we don't have very many cows in the sick pen at all. Maybe one or two, a couple sore feed cows, and maybe one mastitis cow that had a hot quarter, but that's about it. I'm pretty pleased with the system. It worked well for us. Most of my protocol is if they have an elevated conductivity and or somatic cell count, others go with the extra and Aspi. If it's really drastic and they have a drop in rumination and eating time, then I'll put in a quick and a booster also. And then maybe the next day, if she still hasn't come up on her graph, and I'll follow up with the booster and an Aspi. Usually you can see that curve to go back up, and once she starts eating or ruminating again, then the battle is won. Those are the severe cases, of course. You know, when the mastitis organism is actually making the cow a bit sick, you really can see the difference on the graph. Pretty much the next day, or sometimes 2 days, that cow is coming back. So it's pretty impressive, actually, if you think about it. Those pills are not cheap, but then if you realize what they do, you know, it's really nice that you can give something to a cow. You don't have to worry about antibiotics getting in the milk, just if somebody makes a mistake, right? So we don't use any antibiotics for udder health anymore at all, except we use some a little bit when we dry out. You can pull a cow out and treat her with an antibiotic, but you have to do that for, you know, a couple of days at least. That milk goes down the drain too. I don't want to go and find that cow twice a day, and then I don't know when she's going to get milked. I would have to put her in the sick pen, the way we are set up. So then I would have more care, more issues, because I have a bunch of cows in the sick pen I have to deal with. And I have to buy an antibiotic anyway. You think about the cost of that, plus the stuff you have to deal with. This is so much simpler. So less labor. The cost of the pills is offset by the cost of the antibiotic. You need less facilities also. And it's assuring that you don't have a goof up that you get antibiotics in your milk, right? Even if somebody messes up and that milk goes in the tank, well, sorry about that, but we're not going to get a penalty. It's a pretty easy protocol to use. You know, you hear a lot about, you know, antimicrobial resistance. Not a point here. Not at all, because we work at it in a totally different way. These mastitis organisms are a lot more resistant against an antibiotic than they ever used to be. In this sense, we're not creating any resistance at all, because it's a totally different mode of action. So that's also, I think, a pretty big benefit, and maybe we don't always think about that. This is totally more sustainable. Yeah. You can see that it is effective, so that's why a lot of times we follow up. The cow that's not responding with another Aspi is an anti-inflammatory. If you have a cow with a mastitis infection, that udder is inflamed. For everything to work well, you need to kind of deal with the inflammation. So that's why we give her an Aspi. So Blake picks up records, and then they check They check protocols, see if it makes a difference, and see how we're doing. It's pretty cool actually, and that's an added value, if you will, from the company. Especially Blake has been really good at making sure that we don't run out of product, because he's a little bit ahead of the curve, and he checks our inventory and makes sure that we don't run out. He checks with my guys also, and every once in a while he makes donuts. So, which the guys really like. Not sure who's paying for that. If HAV is paying for that, or Blake's paying that out of his own money. I don't know. The fresh cow protocol, so we're giving a Metri and a Milk Start Bolus. You know, really, we have no problem with fresh cows. Metri is a big help. It makes a big difference in our reproduction. Vet commented here already a couple of times, he really doesn't see any cows with metritis or bad uterus or discharge. Very, very few. Very few. I can totally recommend that, Metri and fresh meat. If you would ask me what are the best products, I would say an Extra and a Metri. As far as I'm concerned, those are the top two.